I pledge the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And welcome. Mics are on. All right, and we do have everyone here tonight for a quorum. I will go ahead and call for any other business items that might need to be added. Nope. All right, so I will accept a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I motion we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect, motion carries. All right, perfect. So we'll move on to department reports. We will start with the police department.
All right, so we unveiled the new supplemental patch, the official police uniform on National MMIW Day, May 5th, 2024. Partnership with Toledo Lions Club, we sponsored the event. We really appreciate that. Officer Carter continues to deter speeding violations, utilizing police presence and radar enforcement. The Toledo Police Department received the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission certificate letter of compliance with the mandated training requirements for the year, second year in a row. We have completed a letter of support for the grant proposal for the City Hall. We completed and revised the inventory list for all equipment associated with the police department on a spreadsheet, and that was updated April 30th, 2024. We have some major cases that we're working on. We can't disclose anything about that, but just so everybody knows that we are investigating another major case of felony nature. I will let everybody know later on as far as what information we can release on that. Let's see what else have we done. We assigned Officer Carter to work with this nice lady here on the grant proposals, application for entry-level police officer position. He's doing a good job on that.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is self-explanatory and it's contained in here. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for as far as me talking to you about what's in this report. If you'd like a copy, we'd be more than welcome to it, to go ahead and have a copy. But I would like to present the council. Here, I'm live. So Cody Miller made these shirts, and again, this is in recognition of your support. So I'm going to hold up one of the shirts, and then there's one for every council member, including the former council members. So this is the shirt.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
So this is our way of saying thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for supporting and passing that proclamation, including former council members and former mayors. So I'll let you guys quibble about the shirts. Let's see. Thank you. And then there's some more here.
I was expecting to be a referee.
What's that?
So I was expecting you to be a referee. Thank you.
Then I'll give you an extra one for for Steve.
Okay.
And then who is the senior city council member here? Me. Eric? I think Kathy's the oldest.
Oh.
Okay.
Like I said. I'm the referee.
You're muffing at him.
So I'm gonna give two to Eric.
I'm older than you.
So Eric can give one to share.
Oh, I'm absolutely happy to do that.
right then. Yeah.
So. I don't know if that means you're
Can you
the.
tell us how the event went? Is that Rob's?
Yeah, so a brief synopsis of the event, probably over 100 I think it was over 120 people there.
I did not count. There was a
I
lot.
counted just quickly, I think over 120 people there. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. There's a picture in the Chronicle right now. They're actually doing 2 stories. They released a short story today with some pictures. And the picture they selected with everybody with the blankets is amazing. It is, I mean, it hits you right in the gut. There's gonna be a follow-up article on Thursday that's coming out. And I think you guys are gonna be surprised and pleased. We had local representatives, we had council members, we had chairmen from the Puyallup tribe, some different areas. And then, of course, we had the guest speakers that came in and they did a great job. The WSP was there. So I thought it went off really well.
Oh, good.
So it's a history-making event, but very excited about it. So, any questions for me?
I had one question, but it was about, it was not about the event, it was about the grant that you're working on, what was that about?
That's for an entry-level position, officer position, and I assigned that to Officer Carter.
Okay,
Oh, she's gonna punch it up for you right now.
okay, great, thank you.
That was actually it. There's some.
I'm in there.
No, I was just saying that. Now look at that picture.
Oh, nice.
Good, yeah, you did a great job.
Talk about this.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that is a neat picture.
That's fabulous.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, so very happy. Like I said, I think this is going to roll out and kind of be fluid into other police departments. We already have one department talking about it, and if they shop it, that's 35 patches going out. And I think we'll see a snowball effect here as we continue on this road. And you guys started it off?
I want to see the pattern on you.
Well, it's on my, so I have it, we actually have it. And it's on a uniform, but we're gonna keep that for historic purposes. And so we have to order some more to get them on here. But that one, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is, because it was the very first one. And I wanna make some kind of
The ghost box.
Shadow box.
a bulky case, but what
It's a shadow box.
a shadow box with everything in there, kind of telling the story, and that could be for the city of Toledo. That's the very first shirt that had. So.
So we're gonna be able to make money.
Thank you.
And honorable mention to Officer Carter, who felt best waiting to get off those bleachers.
Awesome.
It was a challenge.
Chief,
Any questions? Yeah.
If you have any materials or can send me a link to something I can get for flyers, I'll print a bunch up and keep them on the market table. The market is heating up. I want everybody to know what's going on and what to do if they need help.
Sure, we can figure something out. We can talk afterwards about exactly what you need.
Okay.
Sure, awesome.
Any more questions? All right, we will go ahead and move on to City Hall.
Just getting my voice back, so bear with me. Carly will be absent through May due to her commitment to Winlock as a softball coach. She's still going to be doing minutes and keeping up with everything, but she won't be here. Agenda request form. So we printed some forms back here. So for anybody that wants to see stuff on the agenda, if you guys could fill those out and then turn them into either Sherry or Carly. With all the information needed, that way we kind of have everything in one central spot. Andrea from the RMSA visited to discuss services available to the city employees. She introduced a couple of really cool platforms to us that we're going to be able to use. Free legal assistance when looking over contracts or ILAs, which is good because we pay for our attorneys. another platform, lays out policies for us and stuff like that. Trainings. Carly and the chief, were registered for the webinar on public records. This will enhance our handling of public records requests. And then I'll eventually be handing those off to Carly. I attended the Small City Connector event in Napavine. It was hosted by the RMSA and the mayor of Napavine. I met with our Lewis County Emergency Manager, which I think he had a really close working relationship with Michelle. And that comes in handy when there's any kind of emergency. I know FEMA will send us things this last, I think it was the snow and then the wind that knocked over all those trees at the school. FEMA will send out stuff, but if it's not filled out like to the T, they'll kick it back. And so Ross from Lewis County is pretty active in helping the smaller cities fill that stuff out. UB2 has started. We've got everything switched over, and so now it's just kind of learning the new system and coming up with all new procedures for it. We met with them once just to go over a couple of twerks that we wanted to see happen, so we should start digging into stuff more next week. It's pretty user friendly. I don't think we'll need that much training. We should be transferring over to the cloud next week. See. And the SAO annual report for 23 has been completed. And after doing that, I think it took me like 2 full days. I spoke with auditors, and they've agreed to let me go back and redo 22. So now that I have a really good understanding of 23, I think we should go back and redo 22. So yeah, it shouldn't take me that long. It was actually pretty easy once I had the knowledge, so. And then I'm in Tumwater all week at a BARS conference, so. Lots of info, and then I've also included, PD reports, so they're in there. Any questions?
All right, we will go ahead.
Yeah, actually, we have a question. The last, was it? Meeting before last, you had put a little blurb in there asking about the, I can't even remember what it was called, but the system that you put a message in and then it kind of disseminates from everybody, that all the people that live in town can get an emergency message.
That was Sherry.
Yeah, this is Sherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point, due to the cost, we are holding off on that.
Okay, all right, I just,
Yeah.
anything back from.
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right.
So we'll jump over to the Public Works. They are excused from being here. John does report the operations are running normal. Spring season is upon us with the sun coming out. The grass is growing twice as fast as they can cut it. For the last couple of weeks, they've been mowing when the weather will allow and cleaning up that tree that had gone down up at the watershed. So that's been, the bulk of the tree has been removed now and moved out of there. Looks like Jay and John have replaced the locks around some of the city halls, as well as they did get the PD door replaced, I believe, twice because one was damaged. Is that correct? Yeah. They went out and did the meter reads, and they're decluttering and cleaning the treatment plant office. The biggest tasks that they had were installing the new oxidation ditch mixer. Installation went well, and the mixer has been running without any issues at all for the past 2 weeks, which is great. Last meeting, Jamie, you had asked when they did the lead pipe inventory, if the citizens that had the pipes would be notified, and yes, they will. Any questions I can take back to Public Works? Nope, nothing. All right. So we will go ahead and move on then to the council reports. I don't have much to report on my end. Did work with Toledo Tel. They did get everything corrected with, or not corrected, but straightened out with L&I. all of their paperwork is in line, so they are back to installing the cameras. So we should hopefully have all those up within the next, I think he said, week and a half. So that will be done. And then I did attend the event yesterday. It was great because we were all able to be there. It was a wonderful event for sure. And that is all that I have. Move on to Emily.
Hello, everyone. Let's see, I saw one familiar face, this last weekend, at the recycle event. Which was at the, park, South County Park, otherwise known as Wallace Pond for those locals. We had, let's see, metal and the plethora. They did not have enough money for tires to recycle this year, but next year. I did sign the city up for another event for this September, I believe it will be. And in September, we will have a paper shredder. And it will be at South County Park as well. I know that we are having a cleanup Toledo June 1st. And I thought that it might be a good idea to have the city sponsor a garbage unit. I know that Chehalis, I asked the public works person for Chehalis if they, because they are doing that for their city, how many they do. And they said last year they did 3, this year they're doing 6. So it was a hit. And I thought, well, I don't know if we've ever done one, and we want to clean up Toledo. Might be a good idea to clean up Toledo, and maybe we could get some sponsors as well, but just a thought. So there was a lot of people looking, and I thought maybe just for the citizens, and we can card them, and there could be a flat fee. So, and that is what I have. So.
So are we gonna put together a committee or figure out a game plan?
It was just an idea that I had, so I have no idea.
It's currently on the park board's agenda for next week.
Oh, great.
To talk about the dumpster.
Ah, perfect.
And the plan, the game plan?
Most likely, yes.
Okay. Excellent.
See, since last council meeting, I spent the bulk of the time working on a parcel report for the planned growth needs to try to free up Todd from having to charge us as much as he's going to for the new plan. So I had a couple hours into that. Todd was pretty happy with the result, as was I. The numbers as we kind of started were not awesome, and so it really allowed us to pick and choose parcels and so that we would fit. And I'm assuming planning commission will talk about this at some point, but the planning commission suggested that we divide residential and industrial or commercial at there's a body of water that kind of split the potential new UGA in half, but the problem is we need about 4 or 5 to 1 residential to commercial, so that didn't work all that well. So we found that by moving it to Henriette, that actually was a good division, and that also allowed us to have, there was a little bit of residential that would have fallen in that zone between the water break and the major street, and so that kind of put them back in residential naturally where they belonged. So that I think worked out well. Quite a bit of spreadsheet time. Joined the chief yesterday, and along with the rest of council was there, and that was a fantastic, informative and touching 3 hours. Three and a half.
Yeah.
3.5.
Not if you got there early.
So I think that's about it, trying to get a little bit of my own life back.
Good to hear.
You were greatly appreciated by the city.
Other than the event yesterday, I enjoyed it as well. The hamburgers were good and the fry bread was excellent. I don't think I have anything else to report.
Again, the event yesterday was. It was great to be part of the history of that beginning. Publicity for MMIP. To spread.
Yeah.
So I took the Management Growth webinar that Rachel signed me up for. And I also attended the event. And was close to 4 hours for me. But it was, there was something that I took to heart and actually applies to our entire life and in doing things. And what it was is they said, don't let this rest now. This is not a one-time thing. This is a continuing on and keeping it in the public eye and continuing to bring it to people's attention and addressing it. And to me, that translates to homeless people, people who are on the streets because they need help, mental health. I know we're a small community and we don't have the resources, but there's got to be some things that we can do to coordinate this and bring it together. And that to me is bringing attention, raising awareness, pursuing avenues where we can help people out, low income people. And I know that your organization, the Neighbors Organization, does help with that. But there's probably more that can be done too.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so, I just thought that was a really interesting thing. And I also like my blankie. We've got a very nice blankie in appreciation for, yes, and it was designed by Earth Mother.
Feathers.
Yeah.
Earth Mother Shop.
Jamie, before the next council meeting is our mid-month workshop, and we'll be talking about water sewer rates, and so there's quite a bit of work in that spreadsheet to allow us to address to understand low income, low use users. And we'll be able to talk about some ideas on how we fund that.
Carly's working on all the tags now. We can tag people in accounts and pretty cool.
Thank you.
I want to just make a further comment. Someone asked me if a missing person in trouble, somehow they came through Toledo, how would they know we are a sanctuary city? And it was a good question. I have seen cities we've driven through that have a sign posted that says sanctuary city or something about MMIP.
Yeah, so I would recommend we reach out to Birch by the Sovereign and ask her what is the process to say that we're I wouldn't want to say sanctuary, but say that we're
No.
a MMIW
Safe haven.
safe haven, exactly.
Safe haven.
And then I think once we get the sign up, that we should have obviously the things in place for the resources. So if somebody does report it, here's the person who tried to, you know, can't get a hold of them, go to the fire department, and then have the third option. And then they'll be able to hook them up with the resources and the programs to help them. That's something we'll have to work on. That's a great idea.
And I'd like to see it not just specific to MMIP either.
Any person.
Yeah, this is a community you can come to, get help and be safe.
Human trafficking, correct. make that distinction.
As long as we're specific about that, yes.
Yeah,
I think are you gonna try to stay away from the sanctuary
Yes.
city flag?
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mean something entirely different.
yes. Yes,
Yeah, safe haven, I just think it's a good way to go.
yeah.
We should put one up there, if we're going to do this signage, however it's discussed and decided. Up at the gas station and that little rotunda, or the little gazebo, I guess is what I'm saying.
The visitor center. area.
Yeah.
And also the GCs and also, the, gas station 61, exit 61, yeah.
Those are the places they're gonna pass through
Yeah.
first before they even can get down here, so.
Yeah, I think that's something we'll have to have a discussion about, the council and the mayor, and we'll have to, along with our legal advice and figure out where we're at, pretty sure we're
Pass a
right on point.
resolution.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we'd have to pass a resolution to implement all of this.
Yeah, and you could reference the proclamation.
yeah, that's something we can definitely.
Yeah.
work on. All right, we shall move on to committee reports. Would anybody like to speak on planning commission?
Anybody want to speak?
He's like, not really.
Oh,
I mean, I just throwing it out there.
We had a very good workshop on rezoning for the city and discussed a number of ideas and options that we wanted to see take place with regards to ensuring the preservation of our downtown core as such, and where we would tend to want commercial retail to be as far as combining retail professionals in some of the houses that are along the 505 corridor to allow folks there to eventually sell their properties if they desire to do so, to perhaps a dentist or an attorney that maintain a professional business there. Discuss the future zoning of our UGA and the outreach to Highway 63. Todd felt that he had enough at that time to incorporate the basics into the growth management plan, which is what he intended to do. He wanted the zoning to be available for the growth management plan. He was going to get another report to us from the planning commission. I believe we're gonna have another workshop on that to perhaps finalize and prepare, I guess, for a public hearing.
Okay.
So that we can discuss it on the town, and I think we have to work with the Chamber of Commerce with regards to our ideas on how we want the city to grow. Update.
Thank you. And do we have anybody that would like to speak on behalf of the park board? Nope,
Park board or the park?
either or.
Let's see. Recent weather has just raised all kinds of havoc. I seem to have grass and weeds growing in places that no matter what I tried to do to kill them, they were strong up. So hopefully with the next batch of good weather we have coming in, I'll be able to get everything policed up and looking nice again. It's been very difficult the last 10 days to be able to get out and can't mow anything because the mowers are heavy enough to where they'll just cause ditches. And, we don't wanna do that. So, other than that, it's just picking up big tree limbs and moving them out of the way.
Perfect.
Mayor, I'd forgotten something.
Yeah.
When I used the pole saw,
Mhm.
the Public Works pole saw on this building back here.
Yeah,
There were some issues with it, so I need to return it. I've actually repaired it.
okay.
has a new gas cover on it, and so I need to return that though, so Public Works is wondering where it is.
They were looking for that the other day.
Yeah, it's
I got a
actually.
text message from Joe.
Okay, you can, yeah,
Didn't even know it.
What was wrong with it? Was it just the,
the gas cap. It's got still newfangled gas cap that was half broken,
oh,
and
okay.
so it would leak when you have it upright.
Oh, that's lovely.
Doesn't anymore.
Thank you. All right. No, let him know when we see him tomorrow. All right, so it does not look like we have any public hearing and no special presentations. Do we have any public comment on the agenda items? Nope. All right, so we'll move on to new business. First order of business is the ILA, the 911 Lewis County Communications. Has everybody had a chance to read over it?
No.
Okay.
It's like a volume.
Wonderfully
In my interpretation, it basically says Toledo says it's okay that we can make 911 calls and that that the police will respond to our 911 calls
And fire.
and fire, and that they have to redo this contract every year. So, and this is just an updated version. And there's nothing really that I see that's anything different.
And
That's what I got.
I did note that it was 6 months and I wasn't here prior to see if that's been the case, that they're normally renewed every 6 months.
And we're most of the way through that. so-
Yeah.
I did not.
So I'm assuming we will be seeing another one of these come out.
It got sent,
Back to them and ask them why they're doing.
yeah, I can, it got
Yeah.
sent to an old email address. So they finally reached out to the city and were like, hey, y'all gonna sign this?
It does seem like it comes up quite often.
It's, yeah.
So maybe it is every
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
Like, do you not have a plan?
And I don't know if things are, if it's just because things are so fluid and they're changing so quickly that they need to review this stuff every 6 months. I mean, I could see that being being the first one that I've had to deal with, I was not sure if this is normal for it to be a 6 month versus a year.
And we can ask them that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I would think they have better things to do with their time than appreciate contracts twice a year.
But it does seem as though this is something that we are going to need to probably act on tonight, so I would need a motion.
I make a motion that we approve ILA 911 LC communication.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
In good conscience, I'm going to abstain just because I couldn't work through all this.
Okay,
I'll email them on the link to the contract. this
So-
evening.
and that was the motion carries. So we will move on to the next thing, which is the Park Host contract that's up for renewal. This is the agreement that we have between the city of Toledo as well, or with Tim Kender, who is our park host. And this is again, another one that we need to act on tonight, so we'll entertain a motion on that.
I make a motion that we approve the park host contract for 2024 through 2025.
I'll second it.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, I thought we had an earlier discussion that this actually just didn't get signed. Is this?
This is
the
the-
January contract that.
This
should
is
have been-
this is just now coming before us. It took a while for it to get here. So
But
this
it's-
is the,
The January,
Correct.
January.
it
3
started, yeah.
start. Okay. Just to clarify.
Yeah.
What it is.
And I am going to renew my objection. And before the next, like next September, we need to address this again because this is a bartering contract. A bartering contract is subject to IRS reporting. It's also subject to the Department of Revenue, the Employment Security, and Labor and Industries. It's a legal requirement. And for the IRS, you can read topic number 420, bartering income. So what that means is they receive income in the form of their space, and we receive income in the form of getting our services taken care of, park services.
Mayor, maybe you can have staff contact RMSA and see if they know anything about it, or maybe there's.
I have one-on-one with the MRSC tomorrow, so I will put this on my list of stuff.
Okay, because our lawyer said, no, you don't have to, and it's wrong, I'm sorry, but I've been in employment law and services for many, many years. And it is actually a thing.
Perfect. So yeah, we'll have Rachel look into that and then I'll do some digging on it as well. Okay. Do we have any more discussion on it? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed?
Nay.
All right, motion carries. So the next thing we will move on to is the auditor required policies. So these are the policies that are required by the state auditors that we were told at the last audit. All policies align with relevant state laws, including RCW 39.58 and RCW 43.88.160 for the EFT operations and the RCW 49.48.010 for payroll deductions, emphasizing security, accuracy, and compliance with the legal standards. It is recommended that these policies undergo an annual review to maintain effectiveness and compliance with any legislative updates. So the first one that we have is going to be resolution 289A. That's the resolution of the City Council of the City of Toledo adopting the payroll policy.
I'll move that we adopt, that we accept resolution number 289A for adopting a payroll policy.
I will second that motion.
All right, it has been moved and seconded.
So Rachel, this is a new policy for us?
So I was cleaning up some of the stuff and just making sure that we had everything, because a lot of it had to do with our last annual report. And those were just a couple of the policies that they wanted to see. It was mostly protecting the city, like with the EFT and overpayments and stuff like
The
that.
annual report or the audit?
This came from they both go to the auditors, so there was a lot of findings that came out with our SAO. So when I went through the whole packet of findings, just to make sure everything that I did for the annual report was like good, the way they wanted it, there was a couple of policies in there that they were like, hey, make sure you have these at the next audit.
I really appreciate you. I'd call it proactive, but it's reactive.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you proactively grabbing a hold of all of the things that we've been failing on audit after audit after audit. And
We have a second cash drawer now too. I don't know if
who suggested that? Good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So can I ask, are these completely new policies or are they just reviewed?
I have not seen any policy like this here. I also have not been through everything back there. These are pretty standard. A lot of these come from the MRSC and the RCWs. They're not looking for like, you will pay on every Friday. They're mostly looking for an overview of like, is there 2 people signing off on your timesheets? Is your comp time approved? What happens in the case of an overpayment? You know, if an employee disagrees with that overpayment, what's the process? So it's just a broad, making sure there's somebody checking my work, not just double signing the checks, but checking the time and stuff like that. So yeah, they're pretty broad. I don't know what they did before. There was nothing in the payroll. There could be old resolutions. I don't know. been working on an office policy handbook and procedure. It's gotten pretty big, so all that stuff will
It
be,
wasn't the policy book, I assume that's.
right,
It was hidden.
Do we have any further discussion on it? Any more questions? All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Perfect. Motion carries. So we will move on to the next one, which is going to be City of Toledo Resolution 290A, the resolution of City Council of the City of Toledo, Washington, adopting the payroll overpayment policy.
I'll move that we accept resolution 290A adopting the payroll overpayment policy.
I'll second,
Oh, go ahead.
I'll second it.
Because I have this, I don't have 298.
Richard
Is there a sheet that says?
follows on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be one.
Follows on the work of the. Computer machine.
Because I thought those
On the-
were
yeah.
together.
The
Same
298 is the,
Is the
Overpayment.
overpayment, yeah. It's
It's
in
in the
the,
plan packet. You might not have printed it out, but it's in here.
I will say it has been moved and seconded, so it is open for discussion.
And this is 298.
290A, yes.
Payroll overpayment.
Richard,
Yeah.
do you want to speak to it? Or-
yeah, same thing. A lot of this is from the MRSC and the RCWs. It basically, gives me guidelines if I were to overpay someone. It has to be paid back or, taken back from the employee within a certain amount of time. If they disagree with it, there's a dispute. There's a way to kind of go about that.
Is this mostly established in that RCW 4948010? Or is that just a portion of it? Or that's the deductions?
That's the deductions. Yeah, so a lot of this again came, I think, from, I used AI in the MRSC.
This keeps the city from just taking money back without letting the employee know that
And it
something
lets
can
the
happen.
employee know.
Well,
that they have-
again, I think with our last findings, there was, the main issue
Yes.
was payroll issues and there was overpayments and there was no policy on taking it back. So I don't know that as a city, we could take that money back from the employee if they were gonna put up a fight. I don't know that we would have won that
I
fight.
believe that was the letter,
That-
that was the finding.
Right, so that was a big issue with our last audit, so this just lays it out. We've got so long to get it back. Again, if they don't agree with it, there's a dispute, they can go to the mayor, fill out a form.
I didn't see where there's a time limit on us notifying them, but they have to pay it back within 30 days of notification.
Well, it looks
I
like
think
there's
it does
a-
say in here that we have to put it in writing,
And there's an option for the repayment plan.
Yeah.
yeah.
5 business days. Upon identifying an overpayment, the payroll department will notify the affected employee and in writing within 5 business days.
Right.
And then,
Right, but if you've been making a mistake for a year or last year it was 6 months or.
yeah, and
so.
I had seen that in here as well.
I think it was the first time payroll ended up being less than it should have been.
And then
Correct.
repayment plans will
Will
not exceed 6 months
months.
under extraordinary circumstances.
Any more discussion? Nope.
I appreciate that you're gonna conduct regular audits of your work that'll allow you to not go more than 3 months.
Yep.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will move on to the last one, which is City of Toledo Resolution 291A, the resolution to adopt the electronic funds transfer, the EFT policy.
I make a motion that we accept the resolution 291A.
Been moved and seconded. We'll go ahead and open it up for discussion.
We don't really do a lot of EFTs, we mostly do internal transfers from bank account to bank account, which is all to authentication with the
That
text
is an
code.
EFT.
Yeah, and so that is also added on there. Anything that I pay, like I pay the Department of Retirement So I just add those all in there at a transaction number. So I do just one big lump payroll one. We've got a form that we'll fill out for each one that will get logged with payroll, which it all talks about in here too.
May I suggest that we have backup, under authorization of backup to the mayor, because we have that,
What do you mean?
if,
She has to sign off on it.
right, and she's not available.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that, but
Yeah,
it
yep.
doesn't say that.
Well, you're back up on that account. Yeah, we can add that in there. Yeah, you're back up on that account also.
So I'll modify my motion to change the authorization to be all your transactions must be approved by the mayor or pro tem before initiation.
Okay.
Somebody want to second it?
I'll second it.
Thought I did.
It was amended.
Ah,
All right, so it's been, the amended motion has been moved and seconded. Do we have any further discussion on it? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, perfect. Motion carries. All right.
With these transfers, have appropriate documentation of.
Yep. Yep, we've got a form that we fill out and they'll all be filed.
So if somebody comes in, they can go, oh, that's what this is.
Yeah, it literally, it says the date, the account, who it's going to. And then Sherry has to come in and approve it. And then once she approves it, then I go in and authorize it. I put a transaction number and all that.
All right, perfect. So we will move on to the next order of business, which is the request for the Thursday market liquor license.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the Thursday market liquor license request.
I'll second that.
All right, it has been moved and seconded.
On your
Discussion?
table, so I did some research on this, and so on your table, you'll find the, well, actually, it's a two-part, so I'm not sure if they intend to do tastings. But if they do, that is not what we're approving, because you have to have your license and then you can apply for an endorsement to do tastings.
The, according to the state, what this application allows them to do is to do sampling. They're not gonna be laying out flights of stuff and having
Right.
everybody come drink it. I've seen two similar businesses do the same thing at the Chehalis Market. And the way they regulate them, the booth has to be set out, roped off. They can pass out like those.
Don't they have the sampling with the coffee already?
Yes, but it's a little bit different.
But I mean, it's the same concept.
Yeah.
And for this one, I'm assuming when I read what Eric had given us, I know he already holds a liquor license, obviously, because he has the tasting room out there.
Yes.
So I'm guessing, does he already have that endorsement for other venues or other things that he does? Because I know he's done other,
I believe he does.
okay, so he already has the
I'm gonna
endorsement.
be in contact with them tomorrow and I will have them go ahead and send you over all of their license copies.
So we'll be operating under. So now I'm confused about that. So the Thursday market will have a liquor license.
The state has to approve. Because farmers markets are somewhat regulated under state as well. They have to approve said vendor to be on site. And the vendor has to operate within the parameters of their own licensing.
Okay. So we'll want to make sure that the vendor has that endorsement.
Yes.
So I had a more detailed question, which was, so farmer's market is, do they run under the Lions Club?
They
That's one
are
of my questions.
sponsored by the Lions Club. We operate under their insurance.
Okay, so so the Lions Club does not sponsor anything with alcohol. So would that then be something that is not, that you cannot do? And if that is a question, the Lions Club is having a meeting tonight at 7. Because that is something that I was curious about, so I asked several people in the Lions Club, and they do not sponsor anything with booze or alcohol.
Except their giant.
The cheese and wine thing.
Yeah.
That is Vision Toledo.
Right.
which is not affiliated with.
Vision
The
Toledo
Lions
does
Club.
not insure through Lions Club?
No, they do not.
No, I actually thought everybody did.
No, they don't.
No.
Private, it's
Okay.
private, it is privately insured, and so, that was my curiosity was, because it is an umbrella under the Lions Club, how would they then sponsor an alcoholic, tasting?
Again, it's just sampling. but
Well,
I'll
yeah,
check-
I understand.
I will check with Ethan tomorrow.
Yeah, oh, they have a meeting tonight.
Here.
But it starts at 7. So it runs for a
Right
while. So that was something that I found kind of. I didn't have an answer to the question. And then also, how would you make sure that minors would not be getting alcohol?
They are roped off. Their area is especially roped off on either side. There's not kids going in and out. Anybody who is, they would operate under their same parameters if they were anywhere. Got an ID? No, never mind. So, yeah, it's not open to kids. There's not trays of, here, have some, like at Costco.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. Dwayne, can I get your thoughts?
Well, I just think that we need to answer that question that Emily brought up. It's a valid legal question. I think once we get that figured out, we'll be fine. Plus, we walk through all the time, so
Mhm.
there's not gonna be any, and that's a valid question again. There's not gonna be minors there. I think we just need to figure out how does that sample interact with the liquor license is saying, and then with what she's saying as well. But that's all regular stuff that just needs to be answered.
And we definitely
Once we
want
have
to,
that done, we'll be okay.
and we definitely want to keep an eye on it to see if
Yeah.
it becomes a problem, then we would
Exactly.
probably have to.
There's nobody there that's armed or aware or able to handle themselves at the market hall.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
river.
What's that?
There's a swift river.
Well, I mean, again, this is not, they're not drinking at the market. They are selling closed bottles
Yeah.
to go away with. They are
Sure.
not, I'm not looking.
It's
to
like,
be pouring it.
it's like the coffee that's there, somebody inquiring about the coffee, he gives a small sample, you take it, yeah, I like it, I buy my coffee.
Mhm.
You're not going, give me 10 samples,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, this is not.
Yeah, but that'll-
This
that's
is not a
valid.
wine and cheese
The white
festival
out
where you
Right.
gotta go out.
Right. And if something like that were to occur, you would call us, we can. Just right in the book.
So do we need to,
So I would like to amend the motion. What was your motion? for-
no, go ahead, that's.
Give it back.
I was gonna ask if what we need to do about the insurance portion of this. If we can even proceed, or if we can, do we need to table it, or do we?
I kind of feel like we should table it till we get.
Till
all
the
that
next
information.
meeting.
Yeah. Do I know everything's like that?
Yeah, I would recommend getting hold of the insurance with the city as well, talk to them about it. That Rachel utilizes.
That is true, it's on city property.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
So maybe you
Just gotta dot the
could
i's,
probably also reach out to RMSA since it is on city property.
dot the i's, cross the t's.
Mhm.
I know that I know that is wine cheese tasting, is city property.
Yeah.
And so if the Lions Club approved it,
And we,
they would cover it with their insurance.
yeah.
Well, that was gonna be the motion is contingent on the Lions Club approving this.
And they won't.
They won't.
I can tell you that they won't.
Well, the vendor itself is gonna be required to hold insurance and can issue an additional insured certificate to the city.
Mhm.
So I think that the bakery does that anyway, for every venue that we sell at. So we have $2 million worth of liability insurance, and we also issue an additionally insured certificate to the various venues that we operate. Most of the vendors in the market do that if they are processing food or anything to drink, so. Whether it's kombucha or coffee or whatever, because you don't want the liability of somebody getting sick. And certainly you don't want to be held responsible if that's the case, so the insurance is issued to the vendor, and I'm sure that this gentleman here will also have insurance covering just the same thing and would be able to issue insured certificate to the city, so being on the city property is not the issue.
That's why.
So it's compatible with the last level.
Sounds like maybe
We'll table it.
documentation
table
back for the council would be.
Yeah.
The proof of texting Ethan now.
Yeah, Carol, just let me know.
That was just my only
Also,
question.
business
that I was like,
So
And we'll follow up with the insurance carrier here at the city tomorrow.
so would we like to table?
I motion that we table.
Thank you. To the 5:20 meeting?
Let's second that motion. Oh, I didn't hear you.
All right, so we will go ahead and table that to,
We should vote on it.
yes. So it's been moved and seconded? Oh,
That we
no.
table, that we table.
Oh, it's been moved and seconded that we table it to May
Yes.
20th. All those in favor
Aye.
and opposed? Perfect.
It's only because we already had a motion in front.
Okay, so we will, no unfinished business today. We did not have any other business. We do have public input.
Yeah. So we received an email from Kyle and I was supposed to get this on the last agenda and I completely forgot. So I apologize for that, but he reached out on the 11th. He saw a post on Facebook about the MMIW. So his comment was, saw a recent conversation about MMIW solidarity badges being approved and wanted to provide public comment. Under the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause, I would like to request the council also approve all Toledo PD officers to wear LGBTQ Pride Solidarity badges for the month of June and Black Lives Matter Solidarity badges for the month of February.
Doesn't seem to be in the same category as MMID.
It was just.
It was just-
Yeah, it was just a public.
It's just a public
Oh.
It's, he's wanting the council to consider it, so if you guys would like to get it on the agenda,
It's important.
we can do
public
that,
comment.
but yeah, it's just his public comment.
Yeah,
It's important
Yeah,
public comment.
and if he wants to pursue it, he should come and represent himself.
and do we have any other?
Yep, quick. I'm sorry, I did not get these packets out to you, it's just a grant update, so, things are evolving, you know. I'm just gonna give everyone, take it home, read it. And just an update for everybody on all the grants, what's happening,
Oh, nice.
where we're at with them. And as I said, everything is evolving,
very much.
and it's on the backside too as well. It's just so long and involved, and I'll send it to you electronically. Thank you, Joe.
Very much appreciated.
And we, the only one that you don't send to you, but I'll get back to you in a minute.
My shoulder.
Just real quick, the one that you don't know about, and it's not city, but it's for your information, is working for over the last year on the St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church healing trail, and part of that is the restoration of the barn to use as an interpretive and comfort station. And the original idea of the healing trail started as a project for abuse victims. We all have heard it, we all know about it. Giving money is not the answer, which, you know, acknowledgement and comfort over it is the start. So let's start with abuse victims and for the acknowledgement of the church property originally belonging to the Cowlitz tribe, and for native generational trauma associated with forced removal of native children to the pool. It's become much more than that. It's blowing up massively. It seems to have wings right to heaven, actually. So it's focusing on anyone who suffered abuse of any kind, even domestic violence, people that are using drugs. And so along the trail, there will be, you see them in Europe all the time, but these ones are gonna hold a little saint and a story about the saint and how they overcame and, you know, whatever it was, whether some of them suffered terrible abuse. And, you know, hundreds of years ago, even some of them, but anyway, so those will be along the way, and there'll be places to stop. And in the side of the barn, it's going to have pictures of the various schools, as many as we can get. Some of the children that went to the school,
people just don't know it. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of children went through these schools. It's just, and lost their whole families. There's pictures, these kids are 3 and 4 years old being sent to these schools. So how do you remember your name when that's taken away? How do you know where your family is? How do you ever get back to them? So idea is that we're gonna try to recognize that, give people a place to go to. Archdiocese of Seattle is way behind this, and they have hired a, trauma psychologist and trauma specialist who we will be meeting with on Wednesday. So, it's been under wraps trying to get this all organized and didn't even want to tell our own people because, wanted to be in a position where we could spend financially. The first person that was told about this project, donated $80,000. It has just taken off. I write grants all the time, and we have never, anybody that I have asked, nobody that writes grants has ever heard of a foundation calling and saying, we heard about this project. We want you to apply, and this is what you can do. So, it's been really, they're thinking it's gonna be like yours, it's gonna be groundbreaking, is what they're saying.
The venue,
Nothing like
the venue
this.
was amazing.
Hmm?
The location is
Yes.
amazing.
Cowlitz Mission, that's the whole
Yeah.
point. It was Native American inspired in the beginning in 1838. So it's gonna be very inclusive. You were talking about mental health. This is gonna be a place where somebody can just go, don't have to be Catholic. You just sit there, go on the trail, you see prayers, you can be quiet, you can just evolve, you can, go. And at the end of it, inside the barn, besides all of these things, is going to be a large board. And you can just, there'll be little cards there, you can just put your name, your first name, and just leave it there, and sort of symbolic of leaving your pain behind, your trauma, whatever it is. You can put it up for another person if you want to. You've got a family member, that went to one of those schools and has really not recovered, those people are still alive. They're, older, much older now, but yeah,
Not to diminish this by referencing a TV show, but
yeah.
the Yellowstone series, they did one of the spinoffs, I believe it was 1923. One of the storylines was this, and it was hard to watch.
Yes,
It was horrifying,
yeah,
So, I don't mean to be
hard to watch.
cut people off,
right,
but,
yeah.
there needs to be a lot of discussion about this because you're opening a huge
Yeah.
can here.
Yeah.
What Councilmember Hayes just said, I watched that episode.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
It is,
it pissed me off.
Yeah.
yes,
Because that is what happened. Now, that being said, nobody from that era is alive today, we understand that.
no, they still are, there's still some of the Cowlitz sites. They're, they went when they were young.
I'm talking
They
about
close
the
in the
ones that are,
70s.
the ones that have been far deceased, they're
Oh.
not alive today. So, you should really think about maybe incorporating the Native Wellness Institute into this because they've done a lot of work with healing the generational trauma.
Yeah.
That is gonna be a huge thing to incorporate in with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a philosophy that should go. But it's good, you gotta be very careful, so I'm trying to say.
Yes, and they, the Archdiocese too has, a Native American outreach person who will be going to reaching out to all the tribes, for one thing. And plus us as well, reaching out to the Cowlitz, it's on their land. I mean,
Yeah.
historically was their land. And, there wasn't the kind of school that was out there, by the way. It was, actually, where people sent their children to learn. So St. Mary's, where we now have senior housing, was not one of the schools that children were forced to attend to. People actually paid to send their children there.
Right, and every Indian reservation is a sovereign nation within the United States of America, and every boarding school is gonna be a little different from the other boarding schools. There's gonna be places where that spin-off happened, there's gonna be places where it didn't happen. But it's,
Yeah, it's bad.
we're talking the entire United States of America into Canada.
Yeah.
You're talking about.
Oh, yes, yes.
You're
I
talking
know.
about hundreds of thousands of children that are, nobody knows this about.
Well, and having some of the pictures, it does show in there, we have one of the Puyallup school, the Cushman School. And there's literally this much room between the beds. So well-meaning and great and all of that, but that was a time when there was typhus and, you know, pneumonia and smallpox. So,
Yeah, I think you're in the right track for the healing, that's gonna have to be paramount.
yeah. So we'll see where this is, as you said, it's gonna be huge, it's gonna be important, but nobody's been doing anything. We can't keep ignoring that it happened. And saying, oh, well, somebody else is gonna deal with it, somebody else is gonna talk about it, and it takes a movie, you know, a series on TV that's not, you know what I mean, it wasn't a documentary about it. It was actually just a movie, so.
So Joe, before you get this final application in for the COPS grant, we have to get it in front of council because there's matching funds included.
Yeah.
So we've got to get that up. I think the pre-approval application is okay, because I know that's due today, but if we're gonna put enough,
I can't find anything that says it's due today. All I can
oh, that's
find
what
is
Taryn was saying.
Yeah.
That's fine, but anything matching, we got to make sure, and I'm sure they're, don't see any problem, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other things too, it's things that keep coming up out of the blue, you know, like, that's working with the, representative congressional appropriation. I mean, to find out about it and say, you've got 24 hours if you want money, you know.
Yeah, what do they want from Friday? Like, yeah, the senators outreach, Caitlin Barrington request to come to you have a need, figure our needs.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, she just wanted, she said me, but I don't know what, and I asked the mayor if she'd like to be here because, Mike Morgan asked too, if he could be here. So anybody who wants to be here can be here for that conversation. It's just outreach. We're not getting any money, and I guess because they weren't able to help us with funding, they decided that they thought they should come and talk to us about our funding needs. That's as far as I can get with what that is. So we can drive them around town if she wants, or whatever she decides. So far, I haven't heard exactly what.
here's a water main. See that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's seen that.
She has.
Oh, yeah, she has.
Yeah.
That's right.
And she's from Senator Murray's office, is her?
Perez, isn't it?
Perez.
That's her, Perez is her, Caitlin is her, spokesperson, you know.
She's with Perez, as far as I know.
I'll have to go take a look because I think it's,
Unless there's another Caitlin, it could be another Caitlin.
no, I don't think so. I'll take a look.
Do we have any other public comment?
Might be Sarah Colbert then. I'll take a look.
No, okay. I would entertain a motion.
I'll move that we adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect. Adjourned.